Hey guys, Gretchen here on Magic. Magic? What? Yeah, word spirit, magic. Why words are magic. We're going to touch on why it's important to be hydrated, why it's important to be hydrated with non-fluoridated water. That will be one segment. We're going to talk about Kotodama and the word spirit in the Japanese culture. We're going to talk about older Futhark runes and word magic and letter magic in the Germanic culture. We're going to talk about the Kava alphabet, and we're going to talk about vibrational healing and what vibration sounds make, how they can be received by your bodies, your spirit bodies, your energy bodies. Now, I said magic. What did I mean by magic? I'm going to flip over because there's Dion Fortune, who is the number one writer of magic in the 20th century. So, defined magic as the art and science of causing change in consciousness in accordance with the will. Now, think about that for just a second. The art and science of causing change in consciousness. Change in consciousness. So, what are we doing when we do Reiki? What are we doing when we do our I am affirmations? We're changing our consciousness. We're changing the way we think. Therefore, we're changing our will. We're changing our path. We're causing our own magic. We're creating a new path because we changed the magic in the words in our body. All right, guys, let's start with water memory, why it's important and why non-fluoridated water is important. So here in the States, our government fluoridates our water. I filter that out with my zero water filter. No, this is not an endorsement. It's just the one that I prefer based on my own research. Get your own water filter. That's just the one I like. So fluoride, it affects the rods and cones in your eyes. Your third eye, your pineal gland, has rods and cones like your eyeballs have. So stop drinking fluoridated water. Also consider this, the fluoride is probably in your gum and your toothpaste, your mouthwash as well. So you may want to change some of those out. There's fluoride in your food. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I promise. Anyway, so get rid of the fluoride. Now let's get to why the water part is important. So water memory. Water is very important to your body. Your body is 70% water. Water holds memory. You can prove this with very basic tests, like take a cup of water, put it in 4 different receptacles, touch a different item in each of those things, look under the microscope. They all have different formations. We're going to go even further into that. All of the waters hold different memories. So I'm going to put these links down below. I'm going to put 2 links to these really cool science experiments and these scientific discoveries about water memory. So your body holds all these different memories. When you cry, your tears hold different memories. You're releasing different memories. When you have a really hard, ugly cry, get some of those tears, put them on a slide, look under the microscope, and then try to cry a different day or a different time that later that day thinking of something else, and check those tears out and see the shape that they hold. They'll have different shapes because they hold different memories. They're getting rid of different memories in your body. So how does this connect us to other people? Well, you drink water, right? That water has traveled through places. That water holds the memory of the places it's traveled through, the people's energies who it's come in contact with. Say that you've got some spring water. We'll just say you got some spring water, right? In a bottle, hopefully a glass bottle. So you have your spring water, and this spring water is from someplace far off you've never even heard of. That spring water was gathered by people. It went through a land. It went past animals. It went past other people. It felt these energies. It collected these memories. You're now drinking these memories. So now you have memories of a land that you've never even traveled to in this lifetime, but they're in your body because you have that water memory in your body. I'm going to flip over and refer to one of these experiments really quickly because this was really, really cool, like super cool. Okay, so memory scientist. Jacques Beneste was a French immunologist who first discovered water memory in 1988. He didn't first discover memory in 1988. This was discovered centuries before by other healers. Anyway, in the scientist world, he discovered it in 1988. He diluted human antibodies into large amounts of water. They didn't expect any of the antibodies to remain in the solution at all. Mixing the solution with the white blood cells. Okay, so keep in mind the solution is water and antibodies. They didn't expect any antibodies to live. Mixed it with white blood cells. They were shocked. Why were they shocked? Because the blood cells reacted as if they'd already encountered the antibodies. The water that was mixed in with the antibodies remembered those antibodies, has said, hey, to these white blood cells, I have these antibodies. And the blood cells reacted like those antibodies were already in contact with those blood cells. You know what the problem was? Defied all the scientific understandings of physical chemistry. Gee, nature defied science. Go get, imagine that. So, water memory is a very real thing. Water memory is very important, and water memory is very detrimental to your healing and your healing of others. It's important to stay hydrated when you are healing so that you can keep that really great energy flow going. It's also important to do your own shadow work. Release those bad memories through those tears, cry, do whatever you need to do. Um, Make sure that you stay nice and hydrated, and make sure that you say nice things to yourself and create that word magic. Say kind things, and you're going to find out more why you should be saying kind things to yourself with the following segments. Up next, we're going to get hit Kotodama, so the Japanese word spirit. Hi guys, so Gretchen with Kotodama. Kotodama is word spirit in Japanese. It means literally that words have power, they have spirits. Japanese believe that not only do the words have spirits, but the manner, the heart, the intention in which they're given add to that spirit. I'm going to flip over to my notes. All right, so Kotodama, two kanjis, speech or word, and then Tama means spirit or soul. Word spirit. Positive words hold positive power, negative words hold negative power. These powers can influence your environment, events, your life, your mind. Therefore, we should be careful of the words we use because think of this, we're the first listener of our words, right? So negative words bring negative energy back to you. I'm not saying like you can't ever say anything negative again. Own that stuff. Acknowledge it and let it go. What I'm saying is instead of being angry and reacting in an angry way and saying something really mean and hurtful and hateful, take a deep breath, release those, and then say something, maybe not even relating to that, just say something happy about yourself, like, hey, so this great thing's going to happen to me. All right. So historically, it's thought that Kotodama goes back to the 8th century. It appears in the collection of poems Manyashu, and I apologize for butchering any of these words. We already said its roots are found in the Shinto religion, so the Japanese religion where everything has spirit. The Shinto priests from Japan would not even use Chinese words because they believed that they wanted to use the pure Kotodama, or that pure word spirit from Japan. If you go back to World War II, they also stopped dropping colloquial Americanized Japanese words and went back to the pure language because they believed that that pure language and so its intentions would put that magic, put that word power behind their acts and help them in what they were trying to accomplish. Japanese still use Kotodama in everyday life. A couple of examples would be weddings. You are not allowed to use the words separate, cut, break, end, any of that. You also can't give gifts in increments that are doubles of 2, which means that maybe numbers have powers as well. We'll get to that a little bit more in the Kava word magic. So even the end of Japanese weddings mean opening. Say opening. They don't close their ceremony at weddings. They open them. The other one is testing. Japanese students who test, they don't use the words fail, fall, slip, stumble, failing an exam. None of those. They take this word spirit very literally, very seriously. The ones that follow a great deal of the Kotodama, the Japanese word spirit. There was a saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It's clearly not true. Words will hurt you. There are several experiments that show when you speak kind things to this rice, it stays white. When you speak mean things to this rice, it turns black. When you neglect this rice, it turns into sludge. Words clearly do have meaning. They have power and they have magic. Speak the words that you want in this world because these words will come back to you. So make sure that what you want to put in this world, you're seeding out there, you're weaving into your web, into that vocalization, into all those little webs that you're reaching out into the universe. You're going, okay, I'm speaking life into this. I want good health. It goes down this web. Ooh, you know what would be really, really great is if I was prosperous here and could help. Awesome. Please give me some vocalization so I can help share this knowledge with others here. And you have those webs going. Keep in mind when you say mean things out of anger, out of spite, out of jealousy, out of hatred, they travel down that same web. And then that stuff will come back to you and pile down on you. And then you'll have to start over and do that shadow work and release that. Kotodama is very important. That word spirit is very important. I'm going to scroll down because there was something else I really, really liked on this. Okay, so you'll probably agree negative talk, gossip, and hurtful words are less preferable than encouraging kind words and constructive conversations. Like I said earlier, we are the first listeners of our own words, and maybe as such, what we say influences us as much as it influences those that we are intentionally trying to influence with our words. So if you're trying to change someone's opinion of somebody and you're just saying like you're gossiping, I'm going back to like your old self when you were low and all you would talk about is people. You don't even talk about subjects yet, just people. And you're just like, blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't like her because she says this way and I don't communicate like that. So then you're trying to change other people's opinions before they've even met this person. I don't like this person. Well, I like you, so I'm not going to like this person, right? Why? Why do that? Why put your experiences and your perceptions on other people? That's not really great karma. Like, I'm just going to shove my experiences with this person on you instead of allow you to develop your own experiences and your own vibration. We don't need to interfere with other people's opinions of other people. They'll form their own opinion, and those people's true selves will show. I'm not saying don't warn people about people when they're being manipulated or they're being lied to, flat out lied to. Please give them that heads up. But just because you had a bad experience with a person doesn't mean that that person isn't going to be great for someone else. For example, I know a woman who I've never had a really great time with this woman. I take that back. I've had a couple of good times with this woman, and she's the type of woman who has the capabilities to help multiple people when she wants to. I do not ask her for help, but I've seen her be very, very magnanimous and helpful to other people in her life, and she has been a godsend and an angel to them. My relationship with this woman is not even close to this godsend angel relationship, but I'm not going to color other people's opinions because they have vastly different experiences with her than I do. And I don't want to put that Kotodama out there saying, oh, she's this terrible person, because she's not this terrible person. I just haven't had great experiences with her. She is not meant to be in my energy field, but she is a wonderful person for other people. Keep that in mind when you're speaking of people and experiences, to look at it from other perspectives. That will help you with your Kotodama. Up next, we're going to get into symbolism with Elder Futhark's, how that word magic works, and the power between the small pieces of the word, how they create the whole magic and the entire word. All right, guys, Gretchen here with the Elder Futhark rune portion of this. And yes, I have my own runes. All right, so I'm going to flip over and I'm going to read this paragraph to you because I love this paragraph. And I'm going to post this link in the bottom too. In the pre-Christian Germanic worldview, the spoken word possesses frightfully strong creative powers. A Scandinavian scholar, Katarina Rodvere, hopefully I said her name at least somewhat right, notes, the pronouncement of words was recognized to have a tremendous influence over the concerns of life. The impact of a sentence uttered aloud could not be questioned and could never be taken back, as if it were somehow physical. Words create reality, not the other way around. This is an important sense, an anticipation of the philosophy of language advanced by the 20th century German philosopher Martin Heidegger in his seminal essay Language. For Heidegger, language is an inescapable structuring element of perception. Words don't merely reflect our perception of the world, rather we perceive and experience the world in particular ways that our language demands of us. Thinking outside of language is literally unthinkable because all thoughts take place within language. All thoughts take place within language. Hence, the inherent godlike creative powers of words. Okay, to vocalize a thought is to make that thought part of the fabric of reality. Altering reality, when you make this thought and you put that out there into the fabric of reality. Maybe not absolutely change it, but at least in some small part change it. So each rune represents part of the language, right? This is ansus. I'm going to flip over. I don't even know if that was clear. This is ansus. So ansus is the A sound. It is also has its own meaning. And you see it has a shape. So when you draw this shape, you can use the power of the Elder Futhark ansus. All right, for instance, ansus upright means truth. You could receive some message in a divination. Maybe you're on the right path. You have these good things. It's wisdom coming to you. Upside down, ansus means maybe you're lying to yourself. Maybe someone else is lying to you. You're misinterpreting information. You might be being manipulated. So it does have different meanings depending on which way you draw it. Draw it out of your bag or draw it on your, draw it on a thing. So the reason the written word was begun was so that you could communicate not only between two living beings, but between us and the spiritual world. So if you wrote these runes out onto, say you scribed them onto a big rock, and keep in mind that like these Germanics also had senses of humor because you'll find like some funky runic graffiti too. But anyway, so they used to write these messages out to the spiritual world, to the spiritual beings, to the ancestors, to the powers that be, to help them, you know, like, hey, can you bring me this extra power? Can you help me with this? Can you bless this? Can you guard this? You know, all this stuff, basically small prayers. So Elder Futhark runes are all letters and they all have different meanings, right? So when you put these meanings together to make bigger words, these bigger words are all made up of these different meanings. For instance, Ba. We'll just say Ba. It's not a real word, but Ba. Barkana and Ansus. Barkana is the birth of something and Ansus is wisdom. So Ba. Sometimes you just go Ba. You know, I'm frustrated. Bah. And that word just comes out of you. You have just literally put out into the world Barkana and Ansus, so the birth of something new with hopefully with some wisdom, with some knowledge going there. And you've weaved that into the fabric of the reality, and that will come back to you at some point to create something. So words are very important. You should use them more carefully and use them more constructively, use them more intentionally. Elder Futhark runes, I do use these in my healings. I did use it on my self-healing this morning. I used Sowilo. Sowilo is an amazing rune that I use sometimes when I feel like my solar plexus chakra is blocked. I do my sound vibrations. I use my regular Reiki symbols, and I throw some Futhark runes in there as well as vibrational healing. And we'll get to the vibrational healing towards the end of this. Elder Futhark runes, I will start to put out a few more videos on those if you're interested in that. but there is a great deal of word power and word magic behind it. There was a story about this farmer, and it's going to be in this link that I'm putting in the bottom. The story of this farmer had this daughter's super sick, stopped this rune reader they knew to be this like really great, really educated rune reader. Read this rune that this kid, like down the street, this farmer kid who's probably pretty illiterate, had written and inscribed for the daughter. So the guy, the senior rune reader, he read it. He determined that this was what was making the daughter sick and basically killing her. So he scraped off the runes into the fire and let it burn. And then he redid this inscription, a new inscription with different runes, gave that to the daughter, and the daughter healed. The daughter got better, meaning each of these runes has its own power. I myself do a lot of the Celtic things. I'm Tuatha De Danann. I am also a certified master herbalist. One of my biggest, my badass healer, this healer like literally heals pretty much everything. It even, byproduct, it healed eczema, food-related eczema, food allergy-related eczema, apologies. I will do the Airmed and Miak chant over it, giving that my words, balm to balm, vein to vein, bone to bone, which is a big chant, a healer chant. Basically, it goes through everything. So I chant that as I'm creating my healer base. I also use my stones. I chant. I give it Reiki. I give it Reiki light. I picture this, my healer being just such a powerful, great healer. I tell it very positive, very great things. And guess what? My healer is a very, very strong healer. I've helped people heal broken bones with it. I've helped people heal sprains, strains, bruises. I've helped people heal old wounds with it. I've helped people get rid of their eczema with it. I've helped with a lot of things with this healer because it heals. It holds that word memory into the actual herbs, into the water in the herbs. It holds that water memory into the plants. I give thanks to the plants. And then I Reiki it and I hold all of that energy around it and imbue it with even more. And I use that crystal power. We'll get to the crystal powers later, but I do also add runes to my healer. I use a variety of runes, and they're not always the same runes. It just depends on the day and the words that I'm trying to get across and what I feel I'm being told I should use. I hope you enjoyed this segment on Elder Futhark Runes, and as I said, going forward, even in between the Reiki, we will be doing the Futhark Runes. I'll be hitting them one by one, and then we'll be hitting small word structures so that you can start to incorporate these into your healings and into your daily life. I do use a lot of these runes in my daily life. I use some moon glyphs too, but that's after the runes. So up next, we have the Kava Reiki alphabet. After the Kava Reiki alphabet, we're going to touch on vibrational healing and how to become one with the earth's vibration. Real quick, before we touch on the Kava alphabet and number system, I did want to throw this out there, the word ho. So the word ho I have found through all of my studies, all of these energy works, asking native peoples how they do their energy work because they're still they've never been disconnected from it like a lot of us have become disconnected throughout the generations from that spirit work. Ho, ho. They punctuate the end of their sayings, the end of their words, the end of their sounds with the word ho. The Navajo do this, the Hopi do this, Aboriginal in Australia do this, Tibetans sometimes do this, different Tibetans, different Amazonian tribes, ho. So that leads one to believe, or leads this one to believe, that when you really, really want the universe to hear something, ho is that punctuation mark that says, hi, this is important. This is very important to me. Please, please help me with this. And it weaves that into your word spirit. It weaves that into your word web, into that spiritual web. Ho! and those spirits hear it and they're like, hey, so this one, this thing that she or he was, or they were doing, super important. Did you hear that word? That's our word. It's got that exclamation mark. Let's go see what's over there. And then they help you with that. So keep that in mind too. All right, guys, so let's talk Kava alphabet. There are 26 symbols in the Kava alphabet, which means 26 sounds in the Kava alphabet. Each of these symbols matches a sound, matches a meaning, like the Elder Futhark Runes. So Kava and Elder Futhark Runes do have that in common with them. The difference is Kava also has a number system, and each of these numbers has a sound and a symbol. Aha. The numbers go through from 0 to 9. So there are 10 numbers, but you start with 0 and end with 9. They're all single digit numbers. I'm going to throw up a slide with those Kava symbols. So the Kava symbols, the A's are all the light A's, the ah sound. But the E's are going to be E, I's will be I, O's will be O. All right, so it'll be Ma for spiritual, Re for energy, Va for emotional, D for mental, Ba for physical. I apologize, it was Re for energy. Go for embodiment, I for identity, D for possession. I'm going to throw these up. So when you're intoning, you're incanting, and you're saying your Reiki symbols, and they have these symbols, they have these vowels in it. Also, when we get to the vibrational healing segment up next, you're going to find that sometimes you may be called just to say these symbols, just to chant these symbols. I have, during some of my release healings, during some of my shadow work, when I want to vibrationally release, get these bounced out, bounced out, just inherently, instinctively started chanting, just chanting these vowels, chanting these sounds, and then out of curiosity come to see if they match any of the Kava symbols and see if they form any words, symbolism, or sentences. Yeah, I'm that kind of nerd. It's like, okay, so I remembered what I was chanting and I wrote it down really quickly. And then after I got done with that, then I went and checked it out. I was like, oh my gosh, that was that. That makes sense because I was releasing this in this chakra. So the fact that the sounds blah 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 came to me, not blah blah blah, but you get where I'm going with this, came to me when I'm doing this and I'm concentrating on that chakra and I'm feeling this vibration go through me, and I may be using a sound bowl and I'm listening to this Hertz music and I'm really releasing everything with this Kava alphabet and allowing that word memory, that water memory, to escape me and replacing it with new word spirit, new water spirit in my body, that new healthy, healing, powerful spirit. I am, like I said, I am going to put this Kava Reiki slide up there, the Kava alphabet slide. You are free to use the Kava alphabet, even if you're not a Kava master, in your energy healings. So I do recommend that you sit with each of these symbols before you use it, even if you are a Kava master, and make sure you really feel the symbols, like feel them. Sit with them. If you don't feel like saying them, don't say them. That's just your body, your body's, your spirit energy saying, yeah, we don't need to say these right now, but you need to sit with them as long as you feel that you need to sit with them. All right, so that's the Kava alphabet. And we've gone through everything except for the vibrational healing. That vibrational healing is up next. All right, so this last segment is on vibrational healing, and I'm not going to go super in depth on this because I do have an entire series coming out on vibrational healing. This is a huge add-in for my Reiki masters. All right, so the whole world is vibration. It's energy, right? The entire world is energy, 100% energy. Only 5% of that energy moves fast enough to make matter, to make solid things. Yep, you. You're just a bunch of energy moving really, really, really fast to make this solid thing. There are other energies out there, other vibrations out there, the Hertz vibrations. Each part of your body vibes to a different sound. The Egyptians used to have the big sound pyramids. They'd put people in there, zzz, do the right sounds, perfectly healthy. There is a woman named Sherry Edwards, and I'll put that down in the bottom too. Huge vibrational healer. She created sounds for each part of the body, and they were all correct. She knows how to heal with vibrations. I mean, huge, huge, right? The earth vibrates at 7.8 hertz. 7.8 hertz is what the earth itself vibrates at. When the hertz vibration of people are being measured who are doing this type of work, the true shamans, the psychics, the mediums, the vibrational healers, the energy healers, the Reiki masters, when you get to that level and you're doing your work, you've released that ego, you've released that control, you've let it all go, and you have faith in yourself and you feel it. You feel those vibrations coming to you and you're doing your real work. And yeah, it freaked you out the first couple of times. You're just like, oh my gosh, what is this? You're vibrating at 7.8, at the same vibration as the earth. The scientists have shown that when we're doing our real work and we're vibrating at the same hertz level as the earth, that energetic vibration is stronger, making your healing modalities even stronger. You can meditate into that state and put those energies into your Reiki tools, into your crystals, into your gritting crystals in your home, into your smudge sticks, into your food, into whatever it is that you want to put those energies into. Keep in mind when you do that, you are also putting some of your energies in there as the healer, as the worker. So make sure that you're nice and set before you do this and you don't have any like bad things going on in your world. So when mystics, they call us mystics, when we attune to the 7.8 hertz, we gain access to all the memories of the earth. The Akashic field, which is why it's easier for us to work with the energies. So we get all the memories of the earth and the creatures that inhabit, including possible energy information from the past and future. At this level of vibration, 7.8, time, which is a man-made construct, stops to exist as we've been taught that it exists. Time, past, present, and future are all one here. Okay, when you're in that area, you can tap into past you, present you, future you, all of them together, all of your guides and your guardians, your ancestors. You can maybe even ask people who traveled with you through these energies what to do. Are you doing the same lesson over and over again? I mean, have you carried the same lesson with you through the last 3 lifetimes? Who knows? So when you're vibing at the 7.8, you have access to the Akashic record. That's a psychic record where all the records, a psychic library where all the records through time have been kept. You create a soul's contract before you're reborn into this earth saying, hey, so this time I promise I will learn this lesson. This is what I'm going to do. This is my goal. I'm going to heal. I'm going to do this. La, la, la. Promise I'm not going to drag this lesson with me into the next lifetime again. So when you vibe and you get into that meditative state, you're vibing at 7.8. You're doing those really great, really deep works. When you're in that vibrational state of that 7.8, you're in that headspace. You're using these symbols because we know now that they have meaning, they have spirit. And when you physically draw these symbols, you're asking for help from a realm that energy is not moving fast enough to be physical, to be physically manifested. It's moving fast enough to be helpful in your healings, and they will help you, but they need signs that you need help. And we do this by intoning our words with that meaning and providing a symbol with it too, so that they're not confused. They're like, hey, I know that symbol, and they can provide faster help to us when we vibe to that 7.8 hertz level, and we're in vibration, we're in harmony with the earth itself and with all the memories that the earth holds. Now, the 7.8 vibe, the earth memory, this earth energy belt, we'll call it, just think of it similar to, there is a trough in the oceans the whales communicate through. They can communicate 2,000 miles apart. Okay, so consider this your big whale trough. You're one of the whales. You're communicating with the rest of the whales through this trough, through this energy circle. You're healing your clients through this vibrational energy circle and through these words, through that Kotodama, through that water memory. We're replacing those old lessons with new perspectives, allowing us to release that old trauma, release those old lessons, and grow further and help our clients. I hope you enjoyed this little snippet on vibrational healing, and we do have a big series coming out on this sometime this fall. And you loved all of this energy information, Kotodama, magic, word magic, and such. Keep in mind, I do a lot of Reiki videos. I do some herbalism videos and guided meditation videos. Hit that subscribe button for me. And until next time, namaste.